Meditation, intimate experiences with the divine through contemplative practices. A common sentient series by Sacred Stories Publishing. The quieter you become, the more you're able to hear. Rumi. A time to choose. We find ourselves right now in the age of great transformation, one of the most consequential moments in human history. These are indeed the times that the great prophets and seers throughout the millennia have spoken about. Mankind has experienced and survived many eras of tremendous change, of course, yet with each turn of the spiral, the permutations become more amplified, as if there will be one final revolution of the cycle that turns it all around, so we can start anew once more. Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome back to The Next Normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. We've been on quite a journey the last few days, traveling with me as we witness together the journey of the transition of our Mama Gita, a very, very special instrument for God. And the idea or the wish or the hope is she's going to find us back and come back and see us in another form, in a physical form, not in some spirit form. I mean, like in a human form. You know, moving on is sometimes one of the easiest things to do if you can understand the power in moving on. But we just get too attached to what we're familiar with, and it makes the moment of your present very complex. What you might say is sometimes difficult, or maybe even confusing. I'd like you to visualize a bird standing on a limb or on a branch. And the bird has wings, and it's flapping to fly, but its feet are clinging to the limb, to the branch. So when you're trying to move on, you have the wings, you have the ability to fly and to go on, to move forward. But you're still holding on to something still that you're familiar with or comfortable with, or something from the past. And in the teachings of Raj Yoga meditation, I have noticed how that's what we have learned more than anything else, is how to move on through the understanding of soul consciousness. I am a soul. I used to think about that when I was much younger. Soul consciousness was a very natural practice. Babies have them. Babies are soul conscious. They live in the moment, they live in the present, and they're easy. There are no complexities with babies. If they're hungry, they cry. If they're happy, they laugh. If they want to sleep, they sleep. It's just very easy. And so when we actually perform the ultimate state of moving on, we return to the idea, I'm a soul. I'm a soul. You've heard us say this a million times. I'm a soul. The energy of the soul is pure, innately pure. Which means when I'm pure, I'm very focused. When I'm pure, love emerges. When I'm pure, there's no duality in my motives. When I'm pure, I become a well-wisher. When I'm pure, I'm very clear. When I'm pure, my faith is very strong and firm. And just imagine the current state that we're in our journey. We want to move on from being in doubt, in worry. I want to move on from being afraid. We want to move on from relationships that are uncomfortable. You might know of somebody who is extremely unkind to you, but you move on from it. You don't stay stuck in their unkindness. I'll just give you a little example. You have a relationship with a colleague at work. It could be a manager. And every time you have to talk to the manager or deal with the manager, your chest gets tight. You start to manipulate the way you need to speak to them because you know the relationship isn't based on love. You go in front of the person with the fear that they're going to either give you a no or make a critical remark about your work performance. It's not comfortable. And when you're done meeting your manager, you go back to your colleague at the desk or in your cubicle in your office, and you make a complaint about the person. Oh, he's such and such. Did you see what he did? He shouldn't have done. I've not moved. I'm stuck. I mean, the event happened 5 minutes ago, and I'm still talking about it. I'm not moving on from this relationship. And so when you think about the power in moving on, let me replay the scene. It's clear that you and this person really don't match. It's clear that maybe he's different or you're different. It's clear that maybe you don't understand what he has been through to be the way that he is. It's clear that maybe the both of you have some deep karmic debt that you're both trying to pay off, but you're not applying the right ingredients. And you know that. And you're okay with it. And even when you go in front of the person, there's no expectation. That means I don't want anything from the person. You do have a responsibility and a duty to that person, but you don't have any dislike, jealousy, or anger towards the person. You really are showing up with my responsibility, my duty, let me get it done, and then I'll go back. The person could have still be rude, unkind, thoughtless, dismissive, whatever it is. When you go back to the cubicle or you go back to the office, you just continue with the project. There's no conversation about the person, how they treated you, why they treated you that way. Did you see how they acted? Did you see how they performed? You catch yourself, I've had that. I've had meetings with individuals in certain roles of responsibility. They were not very kind. And I come back and I'm like, oh, this person is, how long? I've not moved on. And then I've experimented when it has happened again, and I'm like, that's just the way they are. What are you going to do about it? Om Shanti. And then I realized to myself, I have moved on. There are times, though, I've caught myself, I've moved on and went back. Have you ever done that? Like I had moved on in that situation with the person, but then I come back. But the ultimate state of moving on is realizing that it no longer serves me. It no longer validates who I am or what I am. Or maybe my moving on is, there's nothing I feel I can do right now to change the feelings of this person for me. And it's not about even them changing their feelings for me. It's about me changing my feelings about the situation. Nothing of waste thoughts. In the teachings of Raj Yoga, we call body consciousness an intention or an attitude that is not benevolent. It's just not a benevolent attitude. You don't think well about the other person. You don't wish the other person well. You're vindictive, you're revengeful, you're angry, you're jealous, you dislike them, you isolate them, you push them aside, you defame them, you criticize them. That's body consciousness, and that's a low vibration to operate from. That's when you're stuck in life, You're not really living. We were talking this morning about Sister Gita. She knew how to live. She knew how to die. She was very sure she did not want to leave her body in a hospital. She wanted to leave her body in God's home. And she sure got that done. She came home in the afternoon and she left in the night. She was very clear. I do not want to leave my body in a hospital. I want to leave it in God's home. And she did. She moved on. She has moved on. She's broken her physical relationships, her mental connections to us, situations and circumstances that maybe she was accustomed to. They're no longer valid for her at this state that she's in. She's transitioned, she's moved on. But can we move on without having to die or leave our bodies? Yes. In the practice of soul consciousness, soul awareness, the purity of your personality, recognizing that your greatest strength of existence lies in your purity, your love, your peace, and your wisdom as a soul. It's huge. And whenever you apply those experiences in your being, you're moving on. There's nothing that can stick you, make you get stuck. Nothing from your past will have power over you if you're in soul consciousness and you're moving forward. You're moving onwards. Let's take a moment and have a little meditation on moving on. And just to sit in that, if there's anything right now that you're stuck in and you want to let it go, you want to move forward, let's see if this meditation will help you and what I've shared as well. Take a deep breath in. Keep moving no matter what. There's a flow. This thing called life. It moves us ever onward, upward, forward. Like rivers of water, it keeps moving, no matter what. Over and under and round it flows. Let the currents take you on the journey of life. Simply keep going with the flow. Keep moving, no matter what. I love that meditation, you know. When Ricky Cage and I put it together, I had no idea it would have become an environmental song. But also how with rivers, even if you put debris in it, the water just goes around it. It won't get stuck. And as living souls, we have that capacity to move around our challenges and difficulties. Doesn't matter whatever it is, whether you think you've so-called lost a loved one, or the loved one in your life has moved on to live another life, which is their right. There's nothing for us to be upset or sad about. But one of the things that's most important is letting go of things that you just can't change, which is a natural law of the universe. I've looked up at the universe at times, you know, and I look into the stars and they're not clinging to each other. And down here below on earth, we're always clinging to each other. We feel that without clinging to a person, without being deeply attached to a person, it's not real. It doesn't feel like it's alive. And we don't know at what point we will get stuck in these relationships. So whatever relationship or situation you're going through, my message today is, it's okay, love, be close, be intimate, but at the same token, keep practicing how to develop the art of moving on. And what do I mean by that is, don't hold people's shortcomings in your heart. Don't hold the fact that people might not be giving you what you think you want or need. Don't hold it. Don't feed it. Don't keep thinking about it. Over and over again, you keep thinking about it, you keep feeding it, you keep talking to others about it, you keep holding on to it. And that's the role the attachment plays in the soul. But moving on is an act of love. Sometimes we're just getting out of each other's way because we can't give to the person what we think they deserve or what they need, whether it's through death, or through a decision of moving away from a relationship, or through something traumatic that shifts the story. Sometimes just moving away from something that seems clogged or blocked is the best thing that you can do to make relationships actually work. I know it's a hard call, but it does happen actually. So, all right, so let's look at what chat is saying, by the way. Santosh, what would chat say about what does it mean to move on? I tell you, this awakened intelligence is something else. Moving on generally refers to the process of letting go of past experiences, emotions, or relationships that are no longer serving you, and allowing yourself to embrace new possibilities. That is so important. It means recognizing the need for growth and choosing to redirect your energy toward healthier pursuits or more positive states of mind. Lovely. So the concept involves different aspects. Emotional release. Releasing emotions tied to past experiences like grief, anger, or guilt, and finding acceptance or closure. Can you let go of your past faults and just move on? Let go of the guilt. Number 2, it's a mental shift when you move on. Changing your perspective on past challenges, reframing them as opportunities for growth, and reducing their impact on your present thoughts. Very good. Now, behavioral change when you move on. Adopting new behaviors or habits that align with your current values, goals, or aspirations. Sometimes you're in a relationship or in a job or in a country or in a place where you just don't feel like it's helping you to become your best. And then you're moving out of that place or that situation. It gives you an opportunity to really model much better behavior and a much better way of activity and so on. What was the last one? New beginnings. Focusing on new goals, interests, or relationships that reflect where you actually want to go next. Beautiful. Thank you, Chat GPT. So when we look at really moving on, it's really a very soul-conscious process, because you're breaking away from all of those negative experiences. You hold on to them because of fear, really. But deep down inside, you want to be free. Don't forget the image I gave you of the bird flapping its wings and still holding on to the branch with its feet. That's what it's like when we don't move on, but want to move on. So today, the Avyak signals, which is the very powerful, pure mental thoughts that we share after our advanced classes of Raj Yoga, known as the Murli. The Avyak signals are these subtle thought process that's given by the divine to say, think about it in this way. Today is keep in front of you all the specialities that you have and not your weaknesses. And you will develop faith in yourself. Do not think too much about the things of weakness, and you will constantly continue to move forward in happiness. Those who are holding the Father's hand, God's remembrance, will move forward. So always have faith, because your companion is strong, and you will therefore definitely be able to go across any situation. Isn't that nice? Isn't that a lovely one? All right, so I want to give a shout out to our friends out there in the world. And let me see all of our little friends that are here. How did you enjoy the class today? The concept of moving on. You can share in the comment now and I can respond to you if you'd like. Or if you really have any questions, like today's show had more time. But if you've got a question, I'd be happy to answer it as well. So hi Sheila, thank you for joining. Reena, Sita, and Deepak, nice to have you on. App Store certified Gigi or Gigi? Divya Baba, hi. Om Shanti. Hi Suhag, thanks for coming back on. Kushali, I was so glad that you were able to come to see Sister Gita Kushali before she transitioned. It just goes to show that your heart is so close to us as a family and as a friend. Hi Dinesh Bhai, lots of blessings to you. One of my main blessings for you is may you become an ultimate success in everything that you do. I can see within you, you are destined to build empires. Don't let anything get in your way, but just continue to do everything from a pure heart, and you will see how the universe will support you. Hello, Madhavi in South India, right? Where are you? Guntapalli? Guntapalli, is that it? Guntur. Andhra Pradesh in Guntur. So Joanne, nice to have you back on. Rosa Reader, thank you for the lovely note about Sister Gita. Definitely she has read it and she's feeling all of our blessings on her head. Anita, Om Shanti. Shobha Ben, Lee Woon, welcome back. Rashmi Ben, who took care of Sister Gita with a lot of love. Thank you for joining us. And Yukti and Indu Ben, who is one of Baba's main little special angels. Lindia, you're on. Beautiful. So Lindia does a beautiful show on Radio 1 and Lindia, the Lindia Grant Show. And it's on Radio 1 on the FM dial. And today Lindia called me that she's going to do a story, a special story on Sister Gita for not only a radio show, but also an article that she writes regularly in the Informer. So Lindia, thank you. Sister Gita really had an impact on us, hasn't she? And I know she will continue to have that. Lolita, thank you for joining on. And Bhagwati, blessings to you. Sheena, very warm welcome to you as well. So thank you so much for being with us today. Remember, if you want to break your attachments, you've got to practice loving everybody the same. when I think in a state of attachment, it makes things sort of very easy, very complicated, and it's actually quite unnecessary. We don't want any more complication. It's so boring. Anyway, lots and lots of love and remembrance, and see you again soon. See you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones that you live with. And be kind and good to yourself. Om Shanti.